Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Robust Ramblings podcast, where we unravel the tales of exceptional individuals. Today we dive into the remarkable story of PhD expert Michael Harmse, a true trailblazer in the engineering realm. From humble beginnings to groundbreaking achievements, Michael's journey is nothing short of extraordinary. Join us as we explore the twists and turns of his path, filled with triumphs and challenges and relentless innovation. Take your notebooks out and let's have a listen. How's it, everyone? And welcome back to the Robust Ramblings podcast. And today I've got the awesome privilege to interview another friend of mine. His name is Dr. Michael Harmse. And he was actually my head boy of my high school, but the most humble guy I've ever met in my whole entire life. So maybe you can just say something, Michael.
Thanks, OJ. Thanks for that intro. Also, thanks for having me. Super excited to just chat about life and see how things going.
Yeah. So just to have some background on the Dr. Michael Harmse, just to give you an idea, he's 28 years old. He's married, soon to be a father. So congratulations on that, Michael. Very happy for you guys.
Thanks, OJ. But just
And
a correction, I'm still 27, not 28 yet.
You're in the same age group as me, so you're gonna be 28.
No,
So
turning 28 this year, but let's
my
not
friend,
emphasize that.
just embrace it actually. But
That's true.
so 2015, you got a bursary to study electrical engineering, and all the way to 2023, there's amazing stories that we're gonna start with. But in summary, you're a father to be, loves challenges and finding limitations and boundaries for optimization. You have a PhD in industrial engineering. You work with mines, and we're going to talk a little bit about this, saving them hundreds of millions of rands. That sounds amazing. I would love to hear about that. And you are involved in convincing mines to invest in new projects totaling up to 5 billion rand, plus minus. And you have established and developed a department within a company from scratch. This sounds amazing. Absolutely amazing. So let's start from the beginning. Dr. Michael Harmse. So 2015, you said you got a bursary. How did that happen? Where did you study? What made you study actually electrical engineering?
So it's quite a long story, but I think from that you can remember, I've always enjoyed maths and challenges and science.
Okay,
So I
so
always saw myself in the STEM field.
with
But
all due respect, Michael, you didn't enjoy maths. You loved maths. I still remember taking your textbook and your workbook and literally doing my homework that morning. So but anyway, carry on. Sorry, man.
I always saw myself in the STEM field, but didn't really know exactly what to specialize into. But then with, as time went into our high school career, did a few aptitude tests, did some job shadowing, and that really showed me that I have a passion for engineering. So I actually applied initially for mechanical with electrical as my second choice, and then I went to the University of Pretoria in Matric, where they called it Eng Week, where they just have like 11s and grade 11s and 12s that come and they can experience, what studying engineering is about. And that actually opened my eyes and, made me decide to do electrical. So from then I applied, I got into university and started studying electrical initially without a bursary. But then I came across this opportunity through the AMRE, which is the Association for Mine Resident Engineers. And I actually got a bursary through them. But their whole purpose for the bursary is to just bolster engineering in the mining industry. So I didn't have a payback mechanism. There wasn't I don't want to say force, but a obligation period that I had to work back at a certain company. I could just, after the studying,
Yeah,
call it a day, say thanks, and then continue with what I wanted to do.
sure. That sounds amazing,
So
though.
that was a great privilege, and I'll forever be grateful for that. Though.
Yeah. And then after completing your degree, so that was a lengthy process in Pretoria. You completed
Mm.
your electrical engineering and you won the award for the best final year project. Tell us a little bit about that. What did you have to create?
So, yeah, as final years at the University of Pretoria, we each get a little project to do, and then we like have a small competition, and independent judges come in and see who did, according to them, the best project. So everyone's is different, and that's what makes it a bit challenging. But yeah, at the end of the day, I did win the award, and mine was the title was evacuated tube train. But in essence, what that is imagine a tunnel that is a vacuum and a train is running in there
Yo,
with
okay.
magnets. So yeah,
That sounds something
just
like
it,
Tesla vibes, bro.
exactly, and yeah, it's it's
Oh wow,
like
I just
one
took
of
a guess
it,
there, bro.
Elon Musk actually like envisioned it. I wouldn't say
Okay,
envisioned it, but it's one of his ideas that he'd like to pursue one day as well. So it was
okay.
just a small test case that I had to build a little thing. But the biggest thing for it was actually just the control mechanism behind it.
Mm,
So
mm.
yeah, I've built
And
that
that
out.
and that absolutely worked out for yourself. You put all the components together. You created a 3D model. Or was it all on computer, or what was it?
Yeah, so yeah, I built. Well, you have to follow the design process. So you start off with modeling everything on computer.
All right.
That's from 3D models to control circuits to just your electronics, everything. Then once you can prove that it's working on there, then you start implementing it in the real world. Um, that's one area where I want to say engineers lack is the actual implementation into the real world case because we're not for our title we're actually not very good with our hands. So that is quite a challenge for most people. But then it also teaches you a lot of skills and also reminds you how important the actual implementation is opposed to just the design. But
So
yeah, it
with
was really fun.
Yeah, so with implementation, you say that's something that the engineers of these days are lacking. How would you say that you implemented that? That is it something that just came naturally, or did you actually have to focus like, hey, I need to implement this, I need to implement this, I need to implement this?
Yeah, so that's actually, and maybe we can talk about it a bit later as well. But I think that's one of the key
Hmm.
skills that I not not initially possessed, but later on got that helped me in my career. But it was something, like I say, that I initially didn't have. I was very good on pen and paper, but not at implementation. So it was really something that I had to sit down, focus on, and really try and, bolster that skill set, if I can
Oh,
put it
that's
that way.
amazing. So it's all about you literally just saying it's all about implementing and practicing and
Yeah,
doing it again and again and again.
again and again. And yeah, I
Ish,
don't know if
man.
you remember, but our science teacher always had that saying ABC, apply but to chair, and that was exactly it. Just being in the place and just doing it over and over in practice till you get it.
Michael, you just brought some PTSD back because I nearly failed science, my friend.
Oh,
Like, it took,
nearly but didn't. You passed it,
I
man.
didn't, but I gradually passed science. Mr. Estrezen, if you're ever listening to this, I should have applied myself to my chair. But moving on to 2019, you started working full time and registered part time for your master's in electrical and electronic engineering. Um, it looks like you've got a passion for studying, Michael, because ever since I've known you, you've been really good with school. So let's chat about that. You started working full time, registered part time, masters, electronic and electrical engineering. What was cracking there?
So, yeah, I got this opportunity through a company to
Mm.
start working in the mines, but then part time use what I'm doing in my daily work and writing it up as a project for my master's. So that was really cool. But yeah, I've always wanted to study further. It's always been a dream of mine. And I actually had this internal conflict where I needed to decide, am I going to stay at the university to continue my studies, or am I going to do the approach which I ended up doing, to go and work and then part-time complete my studies?
So is your studies completed now? Like complete?
If you ask me, no, but if you ask my wife, yes.
We're getting there. We're getting to that, right? So you were working full time and you
Yeah.
registered part time with masters. How long did that take you to complete that? A year, two
So
years?
I completed it in 2 years. Um, yeah, I suppose I could have done it quicker, but I had a few challenges with actually getting data on my project. So I ended up taking 2 years for my master's, and then again another 2 years for my PhD.
Okay. And while or okay, so I just want to confirm something. Did you
Hmm.
complete your masters or
Yes.
when you got engaged, or were you still busy with that?
So yes, I must actually just confirm that myself. I think,
Ish.
yeah. So my master's was completed,
Yeah.
and the year that I graduated was the year that I got engaged.
Okay, so you had your master's, you got engaged, and obtained on top of that the Best Student Award in the Research Institute. Um, yeah, please tell us or tell the world, Michael, how do you get engaged, complete your master's, and get an award? That sounds like award itself. So
So yeah,
yeah,
it's something that that people always ask me is how am I able to do so much? But it's really, yeah, again coming back to high school, something that our headmaster, Mr. Na at the time, always used to say is the more you do, the more you can do. So it's really about prioritization, seeing what's important to you, and then really cutting out what's not. You know, if there's things that waste time and steal time from you,
mhm,
those
yeah.
things really need to come out of your life.
Yeah, that's actually beautiful because like I've been hearing a lot of you need to focus on one thing and one thing only. And now you're telling me the complete opposite. So how do you feel about the one thing only? Because I've been reading this book called The One Thing, and the emphasis of the book it's about listen, focus on one thing and be good at it. How do you feel about that concept actually?
So, yeah, I don't know if you know that saying, "Jack of all trades."
Yes, master of
Uh,
none.
Yes, but do you know the full saying?
I actually do. It's a jack of all trades, master of none, but rather master of none than a, a jack of all or something like that.
Yeah, so I just googled it here quickly to get the correct words, but it's a jack of all trades is a master of none, but oft times is better than a master of one.
Yes, that sounds
So
powerful.
so for me, it's all about risk as well. I mean, if you focus so much on one aspect, you're putting all your eggs in one basket.
Legitimate, yeah.
So for me, yeah, I enjoy doing a bit of everything. That's just my personality, but it's also a risk averse method. And then I also feel that I learn and grow more because I'm finding myself in more positions of, I want to say discomfort, but in that growth zone because you're taking on more the whole time. You don't eventually get into a comfort zone, which is really a risk if you're focusing on one thing.
Yeah. So I'm assuming that you said yes to this podcast because it is uncomfortable, but it's maybe something that you want to grow in because I've never seen you on a podcast.
No, I've never been on one. I,
Nice.
like you, have had dreams to do one of my own, but yeah,
You know, you
never
know,
actually did it. So yeah, I'm
Michael, I
also
know some
trying it
people that
out.
can assist you, eh?
Thanks. Maybe we should get it started, eh?
So doing a lot of things is something that you've always been passionate about and you enjoy uh, literally having a finger in the pie, each finger in the pie
Yes.
type of vibe. And stress wise, anxiety wise, do you think you were ever tackled with these emotions or feelings? Because reality is you've got so much on your plate, then you're like, oh, shibbit, I need to do the podcast. Like for me now, I need to do the podcast. I need to do my work. I need to do my 9 to 5. I need to, um, be there for my fiance, help move, or just be
Mm.
there emotionally. How how do you cope with this? Because for me, I know I struggle sometimes, and I have this tap out moment, and then I go hermit, and then no one sees or hears me about me for such a long time. They're like, "Sergio, are you alive?" I'm like, "Yes," and I've got this massive beard, and I look like a caveman, and like since I can remember, Michael, it's like your emotions have been very stable. How do you do that?
So it's again one of those things that myself don't fully understand, but I
You're
think
Iron Man. I knew it. Captain America. I knew it. Oh, you
yeah,
Batman.
yes, I wish. No, I think it lies in having your fingers in all of the pies as well. So I mean, if you feel stressed and anxious and overwhelmed by everything on your plate, there's nothing like just getting one thing to focus on, grinding it out, and really feeling good about it to see that what's left on your plate is actually
Yeah,
significant.
yeah. So how would you feel if you've got a finger in all, like you got all fingers in a pie,
Mm.
and now your delivery isn't as you wanted it? Is it because of lack of preparation? Is it because your hands are too full? Because like reality is, let's say I need to do something, but the delivery is absolutely horrible because I was more focused on, e.g., the podcast.
Mm.
Has that happened to you before, or not really? How did
No,
you
that
deal with it?
yeah, that has. I'm trying to think like, are you reading my mind or something? Because that really is the nail on
I
the
think it's
head.
because I'm going through the same thing sometimes, and I'm just like, I feel like I'm under delivering here, man, and like, am I like in it too deep? Like, I'm starting a business. I've got a podcast. I'm working a 9 to 5. I'm engaged, planning for a wedding. Try to have a social life as well and not go crazy. Um, like, do you also feel that?
No, I do, but yeah, actually, I read a book, not well, started reading a book, didn't finish it because I hate reading, but it was Lean Startups, and in there, I actually found like a key term, which is minimum viable product, and that's actually what I use to govern this whole delivery. So for each task, I just identify what's the minimum viable product, focus on that. Often I try to obviously not deliver just the minimum, try to add some value along the way as well. But if I have a clear goal on what to achieve, I can't disappoint anyone because everyone around the table is aligned on what everyone wants, and then I can just go a little bit above that and deliver that as a product. So that's what helps keep my delivery in line these days. So yeah, thanks to that book, or the start of the book
So
at least.
it's called the
The lean
lean
startup.
startup. I think I should have a read of that. I also don't really like reading. Um, so
Yeah,
I've been
it
trying.
was always a punishment for me.
What is reading English books in high school, bro? But anyway,
Yes.
so
Yeah, let's not get into some of those stories.
no, we could tell a whole lot of stories. But 2020, you get engaged, you complete your masters, and you obtain this award. And immediately, and I'm assuming that's January 2021, after your masters, you registered to complete your PhD.
Yes,
And
straight after.
and while in industrial engineering part time, and in this whole ordeal, I know because I got invited and I was there and I had such an awesome time.
Yeah,
You got married,
yeah.
Dr. Michael Harmse. How did you keep the stress level so low doing your PhD, getting married, planning for the marriage? I think you've got a super wife. That's I think I think that she organized a lot and helped you a lot, man.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, she's been. I mean, you know, but for those who don't, my wife and I, we met at school already. And we started dating, and then got married in 2021. But yeah, she's fantastic. She's always been there to support me, always helping me out with whatever I need. She's really incredible. So that is it's like that saying, behind every strong man is a strong woman.
Literally,
So
I was
yeah,
about to say that,
super
and I
grateful.
feel the same, eh? Like I'm engaged, not married yet, but almost married, and I feel like every decision that I need to make, I always bounce it off of her, and that
Mm,
support and listen. Hey, if you're not going to make it, I'm going to be here to help you make it. Knowing that I've
yeah,
got someone like that is absolutely amazing. Um,
yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
and
And yeah, sorry, I just wanna say as well. I mean, that saying implies that women are behind men, but it's absolutely not. It's really a team effort. Yeah, I do get a lot of the credit, but it's really, if it wasn't for her, I
yeah,
wouldn't be able to do
that
it.
that emotional support that you get is far overlooked. Like people don't recognize
Absolutely.
it, and it's as easy as just helping you or giving input or listen. You don't even have time to make food or something, or just help around the house or whatever. And they carry that weight sometimes, and it's just so amazing to see that. Like, yeah, my fiance is doing that. It's amazing.
And to come home to that is, yeah, it's just
No,
remarkable. I mean, if you
100%.
had a long, difficult day at
Yeah,
work and you come home to a loving
yeah.
wife, oh,
That
there's nothing
Yeah,
better.
no,
Eh?
100%, man. So you enroll for your PhD, you get married, and a year later, ladies and gentlemen, it's a year later, he completes his PhD in 2022. Um,
Yeah, the end of
that's
2022.
absolutely amazing, man. I remember seeing the photo on LinkedIn, and I'm like, "There's no way that this guy just got his PhD." Like just the other day, we were in high school together, and now all of a sudden, how was that feeling when you got your PhD? I don't have a PhD, so I can't assume. So
So,
yeah,
yes, it was, to be honest, like bittersweet. So it was really sweet and really nice to have achieved this thing. But on the better side, now it's all done. It's like, what's next? So yeah, I think that's that one thing we mustn't forget about the journey, because
yeah,
that's often where all the joy
yeah,
lies.
no,
It's not just about the
yeah,
destination.
and I'm sure sometimes you must have felt like from 2015 to all the way to 2022, you could have felt, hey, listen, I want to give up. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I'm stressed out. Did you ever feel like that? I know I felt like that a couple of times. Did you feel like that? Did you go through like things like that or not really?
Yeah, no, of course, no, those moments are always there, and I think that's what separates someone from completing. Um, or that separates someone that completes from someone that doesn't complete. Because if anyone sticks it out, anyone can do anything. It's just literally about sticking it out and getting it
And
done.
what did you say to yourself by sticking it out? Did you just say, "Listen, I've invested a lot of money into this. I'm going to stick it out," or "I'm no failure. I'm going to do this," or "Listen, if I don't stick it out, I'm going to get beat." Um,
So,
what is it?
so to be honest, it's yeah, I don't know. I've always, and I've realized that since I left school, I'm a bit of a, not I don't think rebel's the right word, but I like to prove people wrong. So I'll often find myself in difficult situations where people will say, no, but it's impossible to do that, or you won't be able to, or something like that. And that's actually what motivates me the most. Like, literally, even in my day to day job now, if someone tells me, no, that's impossible, I'll work till midnight to show them that, look,
It's
here it
amazing.
is, it's possible.
Yeah.
So that is one aspect that's driven me, or that's driven me throughout. But I would say, yeah, there's a push and a pull of this motivation to get through it. So one is, you're already so far in, you can't stop now. You have to finish it. You have to get to the end. So I'd say that's the pull effect. But the push is, just looking ahead, what benefit does this have for you? I mean, there's a reason you started it. So just remind yourself of that reason and continue
And
going.
I can believe that it wasn't easy to remind yourself sometimes, hey, listen, keep going, keep pushing, keep hungry, keep motivated. And
Yeah.
bro, with your success, I'm quite sure that there was a couple of haters out there saying, bro, you're not gonna make it, you won't do it, it's impossible. You're a very nice guy, so I actually doubt that you've got haters out there. You're just such a nice guy, bro.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, no. Yeah, there were a lot of, there weren't a lot of haters, but there were disbelievers, let's put it that way. So that did fuel it. But then again, fantastic support system with my wife, my family. They were always there to help.
So before we get into the juicy part, 2022, you completed a PhD, you got awarded beautiful red robe or gown. In 2023, you are expecting your first child. How does that feel to be a father soon?
Yeah, it's surreal, eh? In the beginning, there's a lot of like fear, and it's fear of the unknown. You don't know what to expect, you don't know what's going to happen. But now that the excitement's really is outweighing the fear. Yeah, it's about a month to go, and really can't wait. It's been the longest 8 months of my
Oh,
life.
wow.
Just so excited
Yeah.
was come
Oh,
now.
man, I'm so excited for you guys. Literally, I've seen
Thanks,
the
man.
whole love journey with you guys, from when it started,
Yes.
matric farewell, when you guys were in Pretoria, and now getting married, expecting a child. That's amazing. So I'm really happy for you guys. Blessing and favors for you guys. So
Thank you so much, man.
2023, you've joined this company. I don't want to butcher it, but it's Mventec, Mventec,
Yes,
Mventec.
that's
There we
exactly
go.
it. Inventor. Yeah.
And established a ECI, electrical control instrumentation. Okay, that's what it stands for.
Yes.
Department, and in the same year received an award for Employee of the Year. This
Yeah.
department has grown to 4 employees and on a search for another one, and obtained your professional engineering registration. Please, please, please tell us the journey on this. Is this your company? Is this something you started, or what's going on?
Well, it's not the company I started. It's yeah, a company that my friend started a few years back, I think in 2018 actually. And they all a lot of mechanical engineers and started doing a lot of work on the mines, and were contracting electrical engineers
Mm.
to do the electrical work. And then they brought me on to assist. And yeah, since joining, I really saw an opportunity to add a lot of value to the clients. I really felt that what was being done in industry, specifically by electrical engineers, was subpar. So I really saw an opportunity to add value, to the clients. And then started growing that offering to require 4 engineers, and now a fifth one, on the look for the fifth one at
Sure.
least.
So, what do you, in detail, actually, what do you guys actually do? Yeah.
So yeah, so it's called it's the projects phase of the mines. So the mines are looking to expand to mine deeper ore bodies, bolster their assets. And we look at this project, take it from the mining side all the way to engineering to costing, and we say, is this project feasible? Yes or no? And well, that's the first thing. And then secondly, to make it feasible,
Mm.
these are the options, and this is the designs that you need to implement to get this done.
Yeah.
So that's in short what it you know encompasses, but that also involves a lot of speaking to financial people to actually sell this product. Because it's seen as a product at the end of the day. This
So,
project, to
so
them.
this is not your own business, to make it clear. So you are working for the
Yeah,
business. You're not a partner or anything like that?
correct. Let's say not
Oh, not
yet.
yet. So that's your aim. Okay, nice.
But obviously, I've got
Yes,
some
yes,
ambitions.
yeah.
But
So,
yeah, let's see how quickly we can get that done, eh?
maybe direct question now, but with this awesome amount of knowledge that you have, this hunger, your drive, and your passion, have you ever looked at maybe starting your own business? Um, I know you said you wanted to start a podcast. Why didn't you actually start a podcast? Um, yeah,
So yeah, so I've been struggling with this question myself for quite a while now. I do want to start my own thing one day, and I really feel that I do have potential to add value, in
yeah,
industry. But yeah, I've always been, I don't want to say scared, but almost like held back by not being able to two reasons. The one is obviously responsibility. You've now got this life that you need to maintain. You've got a lot of people reliant on you. So that's the one thing. And then the other thing, I've always thought of these ideas as like massive leaps of faith. So I always thought that to start something, you almost have to leave what you're doing now and go 100% into it on the other end, which I've lately started thinking otherwise, to start small and grow it
100%.
into something that you can shift over to. So, yeah, I think in the near future, I will start, looking to take a bit more
Yeah.
risks. But, that's, we'll see what the future holds
I
there.
think with your capability, with your intellect, and really with your ambition, I think it would be really wise that you do start a business, because I think you've just got so much to give as an
Thank you, man.
individual, and for someone with so much wisdom, and you're able to teach really well. I know that for fact because I literally passed maths because of you. Literally. Um,
No, it's not true,
I
man.
mean,
You put in a lot of
yes,
effort.
no, but I couldn't grasp maths, and you've got this natural ability to teach and to guide and grow. Um, have you ever thought of possibly being a lecturer? And I have a feeling that's crossed your mind.
So, yeah, it has, and I mean that's now part of the PhD process as well. So I actually do have at the moment one student that I'm like taking and guiding through on his masters. So that's the first step to actually moving into the academic sector. But I have thought about it, and my only like issue with that is that I feel, and maybe it's out of being naive, but I feel that it's very
Yeah.
repetitive, and yeah, that's
I think you
something
get
that
bored
I
with
don't
that. I
enjoy.
think you're going to get bored.
Yeah, I always tell my manager that I'm a very lazy person. I don't like doing something twice, so either I won't do it or I'll automate a way to do it. So if I can't automate it, I
That's,
just
is
won't
that
do
why
it.
you joined robotics in high school? That makes more sense.
Yeah,
That makes more sense. You needed to find a way for it to do what you wanted it to do without using your hands. I knew it.
exactly.
I so the whole business venture that you want to do, do you think that's a soon thing or not really?
So, yeah, it's very dependent on a few factors in life, but I would like to start it as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a lost opportunity cost if you don't
Yeah.
start it now, but I also feel like there's a good market in South Africa, especially with the so-called brain
Yeah.
drain. That if you can get in now, there's a lot of opportunity for your business to grow and do really well.
So in the previous podcast, there was a question. So we doing this thing that we ask the question and we kind of elaborate it. So at the end of the podcast, we say, listen, what's one question you'd like to ask for the next person? And the question that was posed, if you got to that part, is what is the one thing that you've just started and what is your goal?
Sure. that's that's quite a good one. Um, yeah. So the
You
one
you
thing,
can you can thank Tabo Benjamin for that one.
So, well, thank you for giving me the difficult questions. Yeah, I think the one thing that I started is okay. So, yeah, that is quite a difficult question, but I think one thing that I've started is my one colleague and I, we actually saw an opportunity for something small, a vending machine in our office block.
Yeah,
And yeah, so we've started actually contacting the people to see what get quotes and try and install one. There's a lot of corporates, everyone's looking for energy drinks. So we thought, let's pack this thing with Red Bulls and Monsters.
yeah,
Um,
smart.
so, so, so that's what we started. My goal would be very long term to grow this into something that one day I own a garage. So that's
That's smart,
always
man.
been on my plate. But yeah, obviously stepping that up and scaling it. So maybe from vending machine,
Yeah.
almost like I think there's that story of that person that traded a paperclip for a house. So
Um, yeah, I've watched that on YouTube. The guy starts with a penny. His name is Ryan Tatum or something like that. I don't know if you
okay,
watched that.
no, but I've heard everyone speak about
Yeah,
this story.
that's absolutely
So
insane. Yeah,
yeah, I thought about doing something like that, but in the business side, where you start with something small like a vending machine and moving up all the way to
yeah,
a garage, through car washes, maybe
yeah,
hairdressers,
yeah.
full chain. So yeah,
I
that would
yeah.
be my goal.
And in the property industry, I'm just thinking out loud now. Have you
Mm,
ever thought like going into that line as a business opportunity? I know a lot of people say, "Hey, business, it's either property or trading, or you just 9 to 5." Like we've got experience in all of it. I know you do.
yeah.
Have you looked at the property market? Would you rather do trading over the property, or what's your take on that?
So yeah, I'm a very lazy person, and I feel that property is so much admin and effort, which I think it's got decent returns now. Maybe not the best, but I think it's okay. But just for the amount of effort required, I'm really not interested. So my approach is not even shares, it's just ETFs, you know, plug it in and forget about it. That's my long term game. And yeah, purely because I'm lazy. I don't want to go in and, continuously fidget with something to make sure
Yeah.
that it's working.
I would have never thought someone that's got a PhD, that's married, that's got an amazing job, that saves companies a lot of money, and's got a child on the way, you know, has done so amazing for himself, would say he's lazy. Most of
Yeah.
these people with these achievements, they're like, "No, bro, I'm up at 5. I'm running 5Ks a day, and I'm David Goggins, and like hardcore stuff, bro.
Yeah.
Like doing 500 push-ups a day until I bleed." And yeah, you just like, bro, I'm lazy. I just want to make life easy.
Yeah, I
I'm
just
like,
want to enjoy life, make it easier,
but, but
have a good
that,
time.
like, I feel that that's such an easy way, like without using the word easy a lot. I just remember our English teacher in grade 10, ish, PTSD over there, man. But
Yeah.
um, just looking at life and saying, listen, I don't have to overcomplicate it. I don't have to kill myself. I just have to make this thing work and not just get it done, but do it
Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
And I think that's always been your philosophy. It's not about, listen, doing it as fast as I can, um, and running this race full speed, but you're more about, let's look at the project, let's do it, and let's not get it done to get it done,
Yeah,
but let's get it right.
correct. Yeah.
Let's let's not have this sloppy mentality of, ah, I'm writing tomorrow, so I'll study at 5 o'clock that afternoon, and I'm writing at 7, you
Yeah.
know, like, but you rather let's plan this out, bro. Let's have an hour study session or an hour work, or let me work from 8 to 5 example, but then at these times I'm going to do this, because you want to do things right. You
Yes.
don't want to just get it done.
Yeah, I think, yeah, that's again coming back to that point that I said earlier. It's really, from young, I've identified that it's really about the journey. It's not so much about the destination. So if you can really do the, do the steps well to enjoy the journey, then that's really how you're gonna. And I put success in quotation marks, but that's how you're gonna succeed in life, because yeah, success is really what you determine. It's not what others
Yeah.
determine.
And talking about that whole success factor and getting things done instead of right, have you seen this kind of mindset in your industry about, but let's just get it done
Yeah,
instead of getting it right? Or, very sensitive, or, you
mm.
know, like, I don't know, like, is this just me, or is it
No,
like people have gotten very soft these days
yeah,
and they just want to get things done?
yes, we see that a lot. We call
Um,
it cowboy behavior. Just
Cowboy
I don't
behavior.
know why, but
Alrighty.
in our industry, it's called cowboy behavior, and that's literally just not thinking long term, just worried about now. Let's just get this done, and then we worry about it again tomorrow because it wasn't done properly. you know?
Oh man, I struggle with that mindset, bro. Like, I really do. Like, I don't think people grasp the whole thing about being
Yeah,
intentional and actually listen. If I'm doing this podcast, let's be intentional and let's do it
yeah,
right.
absolutely.
Let's not let me be prepared. Let me know what I want to ask you. Let me know how we want to take the conversation. Obviously, we know each other very long, so
Mm,
it's a little bit easier.
yeah.
Um, but at least have some structure and backbone. And I'm sure that's how you approach work as well. Like, you're not going to arrive there with blockies and a short. But you're an engineer, a PhD engineer. You're going to present yourself as a PhD engineer, I'm sure.
Yeah, but I think on the flips,
Correct me if I'm
no,
wrong,
no,
bro.
yeah, obviously presentation is important, but on the flip
Yeah,
side of the coin, I also, yes, I really don't worry too much about what people think. And I think that's maybe also part of the key is you're not doing something just because people expect you to do it, or um, because it's going to make you look good. You're doing something to do it properly, or because you want to do it. So I think that's really another super important key to that.
yeah. And that's actually something I struggled with for a very long time. And I think that's why I didn't really like high school that much, just because, like, I like my friends. Don't hear me wrong, you're my friend. Um, but like, it was tough for me because I felt like I needed to be this person that I wasn't supposed to
Yeah.
be. Like, I couldn't just be me, and if I was me, I was ridiculed and mocked. And I'm just like, can't we just all get
Look,
along?
to be fair,
And
high school is a tough place, so
yeah,
it's really not
yeah,
easy.
high school is rough, but that stigma or that mentality follows you through until you tackle
Yeah.
it. And this is one of the reasons I started the podcast as well. It's just to, okay, listen, get out of my comfort zone. It's scary,
Yeah.
and it's okay if people want to tune me, bro. Like, it's okay. Uh,
Yeah.
I'm doing this for me, man. I enjoy talking to people.
No, absolutely, man. And I think it's really about that comfort zone. No growth happens in a comfort zone. So you really have to get out of that. I mean, yeah, here's a silly example, but if you wear a shirt that's comfortable, the shirt doesn't grow. If it's uncomfortable because you've maybe picked up weight or put on muscle, the shirt grows. So, you are similar. If you step outside your comfort zone, you will also grow.
Hey, a philosopher,
No, I'm
PhD.
waiting for a Sergio
Um,
quote to come out here.
so Sergio Quinn, to give some context, I used to do this crazy thing, this crazy thing in high school of, like, it's the most serious moment, right? And then everyone's fighting, everyone's got chaos, and then I'm just quiet. I'm quiet. I'm quiet. I'm quiet. I don't
Observing,
say
just
anything. I'm just
just there.
observing, and then, like, I would just look at people and I'll be like, a leader.
And then drop that
A
quote.
leader A leader isn't powerful because he has power, but he's powerful because he has the power to empower
You.
others. And then everyone is just like, yo, yo, yo.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
A good old Sergio quote.
And then they started naming it the Sisha quote. But glad that sticked.
Yeah, of
And
course.
is there maybe some advice, Michael, Dr. Michael, that you can give future PhD people, people in your line, maybe not even people in PhD, but people in general that are going to listen to this? Because I'm quite sure not everyone around the block has got a PhD. Um, what advice can you just give to live a happy, chilled, relaxed life? Obviously, there's life stresses and all that, but like it really looks like you've got life knitted together well. Um, what advice can you give?
So, yeah, my advice would be don't worry about what other people think. It's
Quote.
it's really you living this life. So yeah, most of it. But in doing so, really, when you're in the journey, and when I say journey, that really focuses on tough times. When you're in there, appreciate them, because that's really out of that is where a lot of the joy and peace and happiness is um you know created. So yeah, just really focus on the journey and don't worry what other people think. We all mess up it from time to time.
Mm.
So yeah, it's
Yeah,
human.
that's powerful, man. Just reminds me of that guy. Tough times never last.
I love that thing.
Only tough,
I
only tough
swear
people
I'll
last.
watch that thing like once a week.
Real, oh, same man. But Michael, thank you for the awesome, inspirational chat that we've had today, and thank you for your journey that you've shared with us, and just being honestly inspirational. Like we've been out of school for 10 years, and yeah, gosh, 10 years. Oh my
Yeah, it's
gosh,
a
that's
long
so
time.
long.
Eh?
But you keep inspiring me as a person. Like every time I see something about you, I'm like, that's amazing. And every time I chat with you, I feel hungry and inspired to do better in life as well. So from my side, I just want to say thank you as well. And I really honor and love you as a good friend. And so thanks for that,
Yeah.
man. Appreciate
Well,
it.
thanks so much, Sergio. Thanks for having me, and yeah, likewise, man. You you actually do encourage me to do better. So yeah, thanks. And
Thanks,
thanks
buddy.
for having me on
Thanks,
this
man.
podcast. Really appreciate it.
So, so just before we close, you have to ask a question for the next podcast that I will be doing. My co-host Gideon, I don't think he's on the same train yet, but as something I want to start. What is one question that you want to ask the next guy? It can be anything.
So like, what is your shoe size? Or nah,
Re-
I think
Literally
start with
anything.
that one so that they anticipate a tough one. But yeah, I think what what do you prefer? Do you prefer being ambitious and setting
So,
a high goal, or do you prefer sizable goals that you can achieve and tick off?
is that the
That's the
question?
question.
Awesome, powerful. Thank you so much, Mr. Dr. Michael Harmse. Thank you so much. And thank you, everyone, for tuning into the podcast today. And we will see you guys on the next one.
Thanks all.
Thanks for being here today. Your support is invaluable. Please share our podcast with others who might enjoy it. Stay tuned for more great discussions with entrepreneurs and leaders. Follow us on TikTok for extra content. Until then, stay curious and take care. Thanks.